line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is Thursday, May 11th, 2023, man. We are here. I'm not going to hold you. It's your boy Scott. You know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarberchairScott. Follow H&B Media at H&B Media TV on Twitter and at H&B Media on Instagram. Follow the Barberchair Network at BarberchairNet on Twitter and IG. Visit thebcnet.com. Subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Barberchair Network. All the different tiers on there. Do all that. Pick which tier you want. We appreciate your business. Yeah, man, we are here. This is season 3, episode 26. We are almost at the finish line of season 3, man. I think we probably got about 5-6 more episodes left, depending on how long the 2023 NBA Finals goes on, man. So I'm looking forward to getting a little rest, but we still, as usual, I'm not gonna hold you to off season. Season 2 will be coming back, so stay tuned for more information about that later on down the line. But we are here. Happy NFL schedule release day. I'm going to start off with my sound off. We got other NBA playoff stuff to get into, but as you know, the NFL is king, and I am the only show on this network, which is called H&B Media because of Hoops and Brews. I'm the only dude on here who talks a lot of football, so we're going to start off with football, man. With my sound off, the NFL is officially back. It feels like there's so many big days, in the offseason now. I feel like over the last 3-4 years, the NFL has become a 24/7, 365 league, similar to what the NBA has been over the last decade. And everything's been big. We're coming off about 2 weeks removed from the NFL draft. Rookies have gotten signed. We still have that last round of free agency that's probably going to pick up right before camp. A couple vets are still on the market, but now we're here for NFL schedule day, which is for fans and teams alike. It's always fun to see what days your team is going to be playing, what the holidays are going to be looking like. And for me, this is my third season as a member of the Bears media, and I get to see what my travel schedule is going to look like for the fall winter. So I'm excited about that. We're going to do a full breakdown of the league games because the official full schedule doesn't drop for about another 42 minutes. If I'm actually 52 minutes, my math is off. 52 minutes because they're going to have the NFL schedule release show on NFL Network, hosted by the one and only Rich Eisen. So that's all going to be on there. But there's been a lot of games that have already been leaked. We got a couple of big national TV primetime games. We got the international schedule. And for the Bears, we have 11 of the Bears' 17 games have been leaked. So we'll get into that later on before we preview tonight's huge game 6 in the NFL. But the NFL is here. I'm excited. I'm happy. It's always big to see these things. Just how big the NFL kind of become. Like it's always been big, but I feel like over these last 10 years, it's really become America's pastime. It's not baseball anymore. It ain't been baseball for about 20 years, but it's this type of things. But it's like now they're cornering the market. The NBA used to have Christmas all to their own. Now Roger Goodell's pulling up like Marlo in season 4 of The Wire, where he pulled up on Bodie and the rest of the Barksdale crew. This is my block now. He's been doing that. We had an announcement from the Kansas City Royals today. They're pushing their game a day because of the Chiefs' first home game they have during the week. So that's gonna be some funny shit right there. So I'm really excited about all this, man. So let's just get into the schedule. The schedule, man. First, we're gonna start off the first game of the entire season will be September 7th in Kansas City, Missouri. It will be at Arrowhead Stadium. The 2-time champion Kansas City Chiefs will be getting their Super Bowl rings on NBC, and they'll be opening up, shockingly, against the most overhyped team to miss the fucking playoffs in NFL history, the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions will be trying to crash the party of Patty Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, and all those guys who will be getting their championship rings. I don't think this is a bad matchup. I prefer to watch the fucking Lions on the first day of the season. It's not just because my full-on hate for the Lions now. And I used to never not hate the Lions. They used to be like the little brother who you just like, you don't pay no attention to. He just doing what he's doing in the corner. Like, you give him like the controller that's not even really plugged up to the video game system, just so he'll sit in the corner and just mind his fucking business. That's what the Lions are. And I'm coming from as a Bears fan. You know the Bears history. We ain't done nothing of any significance since, the 80s. But that's a lot more than what the fucking Detroit Lions have done. They would give their fucking right arm to have the Bears for the last 30 years. I can tell you that damn much. At least I know what playing in a Super Bowl looks like. At least I know what playing in multiple NFC championship games looks like. These motherfuckers ain't won a division since 1991. I was 3. That's how damn long ago that was. And I will say this about this team. Do I feel they should be the favorites of the division? Yeah, sure. If you want to go that way, I have a problem with you naming them the favorite of the division. With, the Bears still having, we don't know 100% what the Bears are going to look like. There's a lot of excitement because year 3 of Justin Fields. Justin Fields actually has weapons this time. And the biggest thing is the fucking Aaron Rodgers in the division. And that's a great thing for everybody. Great for Bears fans, great thing for Lions fans, great things for Vikings fans. And the Vikings, who are the NFC North defending champions, they lost a lot of people in free agency. So I don't have a problem with them being the favorites in this division. But, starting the season off with them, little much. I personally think they're going to get blown off the map in this first game. But who fucking knows? The first game is a little weird. The first month of the season is really like the glorified preseason anyway. So who knows? It might be more competitive than we think we are. I just say when you look at guys who've been in the league for a certain amount of time, that's just who they are. If you think I'm sitting up here and falling for the shit that Jared Goff did last year, you got another thing coming. There's a reason why the Rams traded him and instantly won the Super Bowl. Instantly. So I think that'd be, a nice little tune-up matchup for the defending champions. I think it's a good way for Patty Mahomes and Kelsey to get back into a rhythm September 7th. So that's going to be the first game of the season. Now, the first Monday Night Football game of the season, there's two primetime games that will be at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, and that long-ass inch into the way to the entrance of MetLife, which I learned this past year. It's going to start off with the Sunday Night Football game, which will be Cowboys-Giants. And if you love anything about football, you love the NFC East. There is nothing like NFC East rivalry, especially on Twitter. It's a blood feud from all of them, from the Eagles to the Giants to the Commanders to the Cowboys. They all hate each other equally. And this is like we haven't had the week 1 Giants-Cowboys squabble in a couple years, man. I used to miss those Eli-Tony Romo matchups where Eli and them boys would win, and Tony Romo would always throw a clutch interception. I forget those days. So the feelings have to be restored. You're going to have Dakota Prescott versus the newly paid Danny Dimes for the first Sunday Night Football game. And then the next night in MetLife, the first Monday Night Football game of the year, and it will be Aaron Rodgers' New York Jets debut. And I can finally watch Aaron Rodgers, who's not 12 anymore, is 8 because of respect for Joe Namath, Willie Joe Namath, who's overrated, but we're not here to do that today. Much love and respect to Joe Namath as a player. I don't really know about them stats, whatever. We're not going to do that tonight. But, yeah, he's starting off. I can actually find it. I won't say enjoy because I can't enjoy somebody who made my life a living hell for 15 years. But I can watch it with a little bit of a sigh of relief. He's not my problem anymore. He's your problem, AFC. So I'm not really worried about that, but this is going to be fun to see him kicking off his Jets career at home against the Buffalo Bills, man. And the Buffalo Bills coming to this season complete opposite of last year. They had all the hype heading to the season opener last year against the Los Angeles Rams. They just completely blew them out of SoFi Stadium on ring night. This is different. That season did not end the way we thought it was going to end. They did not get to the Super Bowl. They didn't even get to the AFC Championship game. Ended in a very crazy way. They lost some big pieces in free agency. This is going to be an interesting year. Kind of a put up or shut up year for the Bills. They're going to be a little more under the radar this year, and I think that'll be good for them. This is the best way to get started, to take out the newcomer in the division. And Josh, I'll let them know, like, yo, since Tom Brady left, this is my block. And I'm not giving this shit up anytime soon. That's why I'm really interested to see in the first Monday Night Football game of the season. Another marquee matchup that is leaked is the Super Bowl rematch, man, between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. It will be week 11 on Monday Night Football. And this is the first time we've had a Super Bowl rematch on Monday Night Football in over 20 years, since ABC, ESPN has been hosting the NFL. So that's going to be real exciting to see that. That was a very entertaining Super Bowl. We know the Eagles are going to want to get their lick back, so that's going to be a very entertaining game. This isn't the game, but it's an announcement. The GOAT, Tom Brady, will be back in Gillette Stadium for the Patriots home openers. He will be honored by the Patriots in the first home game of the season. Now, we don't know if they're going to be honoring him with a statue or a retired jersey. We all know those things will eventually come, even if it's not this. But it will be cool to see Tom Brady go back to Gillette in front of those fans for that game. Now, we don't know which game that is yet. Of course, the schedule will be out in about 45 minutes, so we'll know exactly what date and what week that game will be. Now, let's get to some of the holiday games, man. We just talked about the NFC East, how great that rivalry is. Well, that rivalry is coming to Christmas Day. The defending NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles will be hosting the bitter rival, the New York Giants, in the rematch of this past year's divisional playoff round. So that's going to be fun. I don't know what, of course, obviously we don't know what the NBA schedule is going to look like because we're still in the fucking second round. But I always love Christmas since both leagues kind of united to have as many games as possible. Now, last year's game was kind of tough, mainly because injuries in both leagues. But this should be a good matchup to watch. And for the first time in NFL history, we have a Black Friday game, which will be on Amazon Prime, which Amazon has been doing a lot of big things. They're going to sell you a lot of shit when this game. I can guarantee there's going to be a ticket with, hey, check out the new season of Bosch. You can watch The Boys. Click here. Do you think you need a fucking vacuum? Buy this shit here, nigga. Like, it's probably going to be a lot of them stuff there, especially on Black Friday. They're not low. This is a very great business decision to have Americans watch football on Black Friday just to buy more shit. So this is going to be fun. You're going to be coming off that hangover that you had from Thanksgiving. There's going to be a refrigerator full of leftovers, and what better way to kick that off for that weekend with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets hosting Tua and the Miami Dolphins, man. That's going to be a very entertaining game for the first Black Friday game. And the last holiday game that's been announced so far, of course there's going to be more, is the Chiefs and Bengals rematch of the last two AFC championship games. It will be New Year's Eve in Kansas City between the Chiefs and the Bengals. Now, let's get to our international schedule. The NFL has really planted their feet in, over in the UK, over in Germany the last couple of years, where they have had a multitude of games. So this year they will have 5. Now, the Chiefs were supposed to play the Bears in Germany, and I was very hyped. I was getting ready to, plan my trip, have some good German beer. Instead, I'm going to be in a fucking hotel in Kansas City for the second time this calendar year. Now, I got some smoke for Kansas City, which I understand from a business perspective, but we're going to get into that later in my Goofy Mog of the Week segment, and it's actually going to be the first ever Goofy Mog roll call. There's a couple people this week who pissed me off, and we're going to talk about that. But let's get into the London games of the international schedule. In week 4, you will have the Atlanta Falcons, Desmond Ridder and the Atlanta Falcons playing Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then in week 5, the Jaguars will be spending 2 weeks, probably 3 weeks, because they're going to practice damn near a month in London, as they will be playing the Bills in week 5. This is very brutal for them travel-wise, but hey, there's more money. More money talks, and I think you're going to see a lot of different extreme schedule changes for NFL players, especially now that NFL teams can be on Thursday Night Football twice this year, which as a fan is awesome. For the sponsors and for the league, it's awesome. For the players, it kind of sucks. But those are 2. You have one more London game. That will be week 6. Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens will be going up against the Tennessee Titans. It's a little stinky game. I'm not waking up at 6 a.m. Pacific time to watch, him go head to head with. I don't even know who the hell their quarterback is. Is it Ryan Tannehill or Will Levis if Tannehill's hurt by week 6? That's going to be something that I'm not interested in seeing, but I'm pretty sure the rest of the people there are going to be, just because it's NFL football, they don't have a problem watching it. Now we got 2 Germany games. These are actually, well, at least one of them is entertaining. Chiefs Dolphins, which was supposed to be Chiefs Bears, is now going to be Tyreek Hill's, return, but it's not really return because they're not in Kansas City. So that should be a nice little game right there, week 9. And in week 10, this game's nasty, but Colts Patriots week 10 in Germany, and that'll be at Frankfurt Stadium. So those are the big games from the overall NFL schedule that have leaked so far. I didn't want to record the same time as the release show, and also I wanted to watch the game so we don't have the full schedule for y'all. But those are kind of the ones that stand out of the league so far. So, Chicago Bears fans, man, we are here to talk a little Bears. Talk about a little Bears schedule, man. The Chicago Bears coming off a 3-14 season that I will say, if it was any other year, I would say it was unbearable. But honestly, it was the most entertaining 3-14 season I've ever seen in my life, specifically because of the exciting play of Justin Fields. And just probably, if not the most, the best executed tank in sports history. If it's not the best, it's the best tank in NFL history. This was an excellent tank. You got the number 1 draft pick. Shout out to Lovie Smith. You got the number 1 draft pick, and you changed that draft pick. You took the number 1 draft pick and turned it into a number 1 wide receiver in DJ Moore, one of the top 3 right tackles in the draft, and Darnell Wright. And you also turned that into a second rounder and 2 first rounders for next year. So that was a great trade for both parties, honestly, because the Panthers got their hopeful franchise quarterback in Bryce Young. The Bears have a lot of excitement coming into this year. Now, we said on 79th Dallas this past week, as we did our super late day 2 and day 3 draft breakdown, was I'm not expecting this team to make the playoffs, but they got to be in the hunt bubble. You know, you watch NBC or ESPN when they do the in the hunt. Once we get to like week 14 and shit, week 13, week 14, they need to be in the hunt bubble. As long as they're in the hunt bubble and they win to about 7 to 8 games, this is a successful season for the Bears. I fully expect Justin Fields to take that 3rd-year leap. Now, granted, these are off-season quotes. Coaches are going to say what they're going to say. So I don't know if you can take too much from coach speak. The actual play on the field will tell the story, but Bears offensive coordinator Luke Getsy said that Justin Fields is light years ahead from where it was last season, so that's good to hear. And now Justin has a full complement of wide receivers and an amazing running game. The sky's the limit for this dude. And I think one thing a lot of Bears fans don't think of, obviously because we've never had a fucking franchise quarterback in our life. I mean, the best quarterback we've ever had was Jay Cutler, and that tells you everything you need to know right there. Is that great quarterback play can cover up holes in the rest of the team. We know this team still going to have a pass rush issue because a lot of the defensive linemen that they drafted are young, so it's going to take them a minute, and they didn't go defensive end whatsoever in free agency in the draft. Now there's still a couple of veteran DNs over there. I would not be shocked if Ryan Poles signs a Frank Clark, who is, from Kansas City, won 2 championships with the Chiefs. He was there when Ryan Poles was there when he was drafted. So there's that little connective tissue right there. I wouldn't be shocked if they do that. But if Justin Fields takes that leap in today's NFL, if you have a great offense and defense that makes stops at the right time, you're good to go. This is not the old school, you got to have the lockdown defense shit. Just have a great offense, have a cool defense that makes stops when it matters, and you'll be fine. So there's a lot of fun vibes for Bears fans right now, a lot of realistic optimism, because I think all sports fans, especially Bears fans, have heightened optimism that's probably not realistic coming into every season. But I think there's a lot of realistic hype for this team. So after 17 games, 11 of them have leads. So we're going to go over the league games. So the Bears will be starting this season off week 1 at Soldier Field in the Fox 325 prime slot against their hated rival, the Green Bay Packers. Not only the most hated rival, they're without a daddy. Your punk ass daddy is gone, Green Bay. Now, I don't know much about Jordan Love. He might be a serviceable quarterback, but he ain't Aaron Rodgers. He ain't gonna be Aaron Rodgers. And the thing is this: lightning don't strike 3 times, motherfucker. This is the perfect time for Justin Fields, for the Bears, to go in there, beat the fuck out of him. And I want a blowout. I'll be cool with a win. Even if it's like 7-3, whatever. I want a blowout. I want to be where I am thinking about what I'm going to eat in the 4th quarter. I want to hear, who's ever calling that game that day, Greg Olsen saying, and the score is 38-3. That's the 4th touchdown by Justin Fields. I want to hit that with the 7:20 mark up. I want Justin the Bears to say, look, it's a new era now. Everything that happened before, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And the thing about the old days They the old days. Come out here and let them know it's over. We got to own y'all for the next decade. That's what I want to see. Week 1, that should be fun. Gonna be hopefully it should be good weather. This first week of September. Chicago doesn't really get cold till like October. Hopefully, that is in Chicago. We could have a fucking snowstorm on September 14th or some shit. I'm not that far removed from living in Chicago to know that much. So that's gonna be a good start to the season. I saw a lot of Bear fans who still got PTSD. Well, start off real. Stop being pussy. Okay, like, and I don't mean to be, I'm not trying to cuss too much on this network, but stop being soft. Okay, stop being fucking soft. This is the best time. Like, Aaron Rodgers ain't walking through that door. That criminal who need to be in a fucking jail cell, Brett Favre, is not walking through that door. It's time right now. Set it up right now. I love that start right there. So then we go week 3. Will be the Kansas City game, which is supposed to be in Germany, but will be in Kansas City. We don't know what network being. The networks haven't been announced yet, but that is also a 325 game. So that will be on the national, late afternoon games, whether it's CBS or NBC. So either be like Greg Olsen or like Tony Romo that you're gonna get that game, and that will be in Kansas City, by the way, against the defending champions. Week 5. Now, the Bears have 3 primetime games so far. Now, I do think they're gonna finish with 4 when the real schedule comes out. But the first one will be week 5 in Washington, D.C. in Thursday Night Football against Riverboat Ron, Chicago Bears legend, and his Commanders. The Commanders. They'll be playing them on Thursday Night Football, one of 2 Thursday Night Football games for the Chicago Bears. Week 6, they'll be at home against the first time against the Minnesota Vikings. Week 10, we got Thursday Night Football matchup at the crib at Soldier Field against the Carolina Panthers. You get your first Justin Fields, Bryce Young matchup. And then week 11, they will be at Detroit for the first of 2 matchups, but this is going to be a highly entertaining rivalry this year. And then week 12 will be in Minnesota for Monday Night Football. Week 14 in Chicago against the Lions. Week 15 on the road to play another quarterback who needs to be in prison, Freaky Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns. Week 15. Week 16, this was just announced before we came on air. The Bears will have a Christmas Eve game at home against Kyler Gordon and Arizona. Not Kyler Gordon. Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray and Arizona Cardinals. If he plays, I forgot he's coming back from torn ACL. That's the end of the season, so I don't know if they'll shut him down by then. He'll been back for a couple of weeks, but they will be playing the Cardinals on Christmas Eve. And then week 17 will be on the road in Lambeau Field against the Green Bay Packers. So there's still 6 other games to be announced. But those are the games so far for the Chicago Bears, man. They had a podcast with one of the vice presidents who puts together the schedule, and he said to expect to see a lot of Chicago Bears on the primetime stage this year, just because Justin Fields is what everybody wants to see. He is a box office quarterback you want to see, and I expect the 4 primetime games right now. Wouldn't be surprised if I think it's going to get at least 5. So I haven't ever heard that being said. The Chicago Bears have a box office quarterback, so I've never heard that being said. But that is 11 games have been leaked so far from the NFL season, man. So next week I will go over the Bears schedule in full with the ones that we missed. We're not going to do a podcast on that because it's kind of like, we don't need 45 minutes to talk about. We're not going to be predicting who wins. We don't even know what roster is going to look like come these weeks. Like, we still got OTAs, we still got cuts, we still got training camp. We still got a whole 3 to 4 months before we need to be talking about who's going to win what. So we'll talk about that next week. Now let's get to the NBA, man. We got, I call this is a closeout weekend, man, starting today. If you don't have to work on Friday. And if you live in Los Angeles, really Thursday night starts any damn way. But a lot of people can close out 2 closeout games tonight, the Sixers and the Celtics, and the Nuggets and the Clippers. Let's start off with Sixers Celtics, was about to tip off in about 20 minutes in Philadelphia. Joel Embiid, who is the MVP of the NBA, was announced last week. They have an opportunity to advance to the Sixers' first Eastern Conference Finals since the answer Allen Iverson led the Sixers to the finals in 2001, where they beat the Milwaukee Bucks to advance to the finals, where they got just absolutely bum rushed by Kobe and Shaq and the Lakers. Robert Williams will be starting for the Celtics there. They're going to mix that up a little bit. The thing here for me is I need that big Embiid game. And he's had solid games in these playoffs. I thought he had a solid game for a game 5 in the Garden in Boston. But he needs that big moment. This is your opportunity right now. This is your chance to put the Sixers in an opportunity to not just, advance these conference finals. You got a legit shot to win to make the NBA finals because the winner you'll be playing is against either Miami or New York. And this is nothing against Miami or New York. We know Jimmy Butler would love. To eliminate the team that picked Tobias Harris over him back-to-back years because they did it last year. He would love that. And no disrespect to the Knicks and my Knicks fans, homies. The Knicks ain't beating the Sixers. Let's just be 100% real about that. So they have an opportunity. They would have home court advantage throughout if they knock off the Boston Celtics tonight. They'd have the Eastern Conference Finals and the NBA Finals no matter who comes out of that conference. So this is big for them, man. I need a big MVP imprint type game where he's not, it's not one of them games we had where I kind of felt like game 4, he had like 30-something points, but he was kind of timid and really wasn't. He was kind of MIA in that fourth quarter and overtime. Now I think a lot of it had to do with the great defense by Al Horford. I don't give a damn how great defense how great the defense Al Horford's playing. You fucking throw MVP, you're the MVP. You take his ass out. So I need to see that. I need to see more the play that we've been getting from Harden the last 2 games. And I need Tyrese Maxey to continue to be the Tyrese Maxey that he is. And I believe that they can win this game and advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, on the Celtics side, I still think on paper, now that the Bucks have been eliminated, I still think they have the best team equipped to win the NBA championship. They just doing the same thing as the NBA Finals counterpart, the Golden State Warriors, are doing right now. They play with their own fucking food too damn much. We haven't got the consistency that you need from Jason Tatum. And by the way, y'all owe me a fucking apology for everything I've been saying, not just on this show, but on Ball On Live, Hoops and Brews, Twitter, wherever. Jason Tatum's not that guy yet. I'm not saying that he can't. The boy only 25. He's not even in his prime yet. But I need to see it more consistently. Just a year ago, they were in the same situation. Down 3-2 on the road against the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks. And Jason Tatum played probably his best game of his career, 46 points on Giannis' head to push it to a game 7 where they blew Milwaukee out the water. The same thing here. I need to see more from Jason Tatum. And also, I need my man Jaylen Brown to stop being so goddamn passive. There needs to be a moment where if Tatum isn't making shots or he's not doing what you got to do, you have to be the alpha. Like, there shouldn't be an opportunity, something what we saw in these last 2 games where he's just not by the basketball. I need to see that. And I think the thing that separates the Celtics, not just from in this series, but all season, is the offense really isn't that much different than what it was last year when they made the NBA Finals. They're just not playing the lockdown defense that they played in the NBA playoffs all last year. That's been missing. And like I said, once again, if there's one thing I like about, being in the sports media prediction business, I like telling y'all when I'm fucking right. I told y'all way back in January, I'm kind of straight on Joe Mazzulla. He does a lot of dumb shit. Listen to me very clearly, Joe. You cannot take timeouts and carry them to the next fucking game. You can use them tonight. There's no reason. Like, if they would have called the timeout, set the play off right, and they'd have been a nanosecond quicker, not only would they had the 3-1 lead, this series might be over right now. You can have a little rest while the Heat and the Knicks still battle out. But no, you're still here. So he's got to get better. He's got to get smarter. And it's really the Celtics, it's not really the X and O's things for them. Just play your game. Be the team that you are, and you should be able to beat this team. And this is nothing against Philly. But when it comes to just a better team, the Celtics are the better team. They're deeper, and they have more experience than the Sixers. They should have won this series way easier than they're trying to do right now. So this is going to be a very, very competitive game. I think this is going to be the best game in the series. But I do think Boston's going to pull it out. For some reason, they have just not been a good home team in the last couple playoffs. So I don't think they're panicking per se because they've been in this position. And it's the same thing they like with the Warriors. Like, they know that sometimes they don't play their best until they're pushed up against the wall and they have no damn choice. So I think that's going to be something that's going to carry them through. And I do expect better games from Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. The question is, can they not just do it tonight, but can they do it in the Game 7? Can they do it in the Eastern Conference Finals? Can they do it ultimately to win the NBA championship, man? So now we go to the other game, the nightcap, the late night nightcap for all you East Coast people out there. I'm sorry. I'm really not sorry, but I always laugh when I see my East Coast people tweet about, man, I can't stay up past this first quarter. And that's why I keep telling you the Pacific time is the GOAT time. It's the GOAT time zone. You know, by the time we watch all these games, it's still 9:30, it's still 10 o'clock. If you want to go out, grab a drink, hit the club, whatever, hit the lounge, you can still do that shit. I know just even being in Central time zone, I'll be yawning like a motherfucker when it's the game starting at like 8, shit like that. So this is going to be a game right here where the Nuggets, they have an opportunity to advance to their first Western Conference final since the bubble season of 2020. Jamal Murray is questionable tonight with a non-COVID illness. They canceled shoot around because it's been like a little bit of a bug going through the team. Michael Malone's feeling a little bit of a down. Now we haven't gotten an exact yes or no whether he's going to play. My personal prediction, I think he's going to play. It's not COVID. I think try to thug it out. Now what effectiveness he's going to be, what his effectiveness is going to be is a whole different discussion. But I do think Jamal Murray will be out there. There's 2 losses for the Suns. Of course, you know Chris Paul's still out with a groin injury, but DeAndre Ayton will be out tonight with a rib contusion. Probably way too many Jokic elbows to the ribs these first 5 games, man. And this is a situation right here where now, whether Jamal Murray is 100% or not, Jokic needs to close this out. I want to see MVP performances tonight, man. I want to see MVP performance from the new MVP, Joel Embiid, and I want to see MVP performance tonight, which he's been giving us. It's not like he hasn't been giving us. The man just had 53 the other night. So this is not like I'm challenging Jokic or anything. He's been doing what he's supposed to do. But I want to see it again. I want to see it again tonight. Close us out. See into the Western Conference Finals. And you get a little couple-day break because maybe the Warriors push the Lakers to Game 7 and you have a couple days to chill. This is something where the Suns, they have an opportunity. I don't think that any of these injuries hurt them because, you know, in no disrespect to Chris Paul, like I just feel like he's older right now. We all know defensively he's not what he used to be. And just pace-wise, the thing that got the Suns back in the series outside of the obvious lights-out shooting by Devin Booker and Kevin Durant has been the pace. The pace has been tremendous. They've been dictating the pace and been playing a real fast game. It's been a little hard for Denver to catch up with. And with Chris Paul, that gets slowed down. I don't think that's going to deter them anyway. And I don't think this DeAndre Ayton thing is going to deter him either. Like, yeah, he had a couple rebounds the other game, but they'll be fine. DeAndre Ayton is 100% not going to be on this roster a year now. I can guarantee that. He's probably, I don't say he's like super disappointed because he has his moments, but it's kind of like I put DeAndre Ayton to a lesser degree because these other 2 players are definitely better than him. Like Bam Adebayo is better than fucking DeAndre Ayton. Anthony Davis is 1,000,000% better than DeAndre Ayton. But what I'm saying as far as the inconsistency, he's in that inconsistent mold of him. Sometimes he doesn't even look like he wants the basketball. So I don't think it's going to hurt them at all. They need KD and Book to continue to shoot the way they've been doing, but more importantly, they need the others to play the way they did in games 3 and 4. They can't pull the shit they pulled in game 5. So all that being said, I think it's going to be another competitive game, but I think we have 2 closeouts tonight. I think that not 2 closeouts. I forgot the Celtics are going to win. Celtics are going to push through Game 7, but I do think we have 1 closeout tonight. I think the Nuggets advance to the Western Conference Finals tonight, and they will beat out the Phoenix Suns tonight in Phoenix, man. So that's why I think it's going to happen for that. Let's get into some weekend closeout games. We got 2 games confirmed for tomorrow. We know we're getting towards the end of the playoffs because there are 0 games scheduled on Saturday, and Sunday is still up in the air. Sunday will either be game 1 of the Western Conference Finals if there's no game 7 scheduled, but if there is even one game 1 scheduled on Sunday, the Western Conference Finals will start on Tuesday. So we got the Heat and the Knicks, which will be in the Yale in South Beach, Miami. Jimmy Butler probably had his worst game of the playoffs last night. Jalen Brunson, big-time performance, 38 points to be able to stave off elimination last night at the Garden. I think this is just a blip, a blip, in the journey right here in the series for the Heat. I think the Heat are going to be fine. Emmanuel Quigley is questionable. He missed game 5. I just feel like the Heat are just a better team. And we got to stop doing the AFC. They got eliminated in the AFC. Like, yeah, they're the AFC, but they're not your typical AC. This is a team that was a Jimmy Butler missed 3 from being in the NBA Finals last year. So it's not the same thing. There needs to be a little more context to these conversations, which I know that Twitter doesn't like doing. But there needs to be more context to these things. So this is a situation where the Knicks want to desperately bring this back to Madison Square Garden. Desperately want to have that guarding crowd behind you for a winner take all game against one of your bitter rivals. But I think all that shit comes to an end tomorrow. I think Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry's been playing pretty well. Bam Adebayo, Filipino Jackson, my man Eric Spoelstra will be closing the door, sending Knicks off into their merry way, and their best season in almost 30 years will come to a close. And the Miami Heat will advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, Warriors-Lakers, man, this series has gotten a little spicy over the last 24 hours because of I don't flop, you flop. I don't flop, you flop. 2 flopping-ass teams calling the other teams flop. We'll get into that bullshit that LeBron said in a minute. But Warriors-Lakers. Lakers actually put a pretty decent fight up last night into the last couple minutes. The Warriors, everybody knew that Stephen Curry was not going to allow their championship reign to end at the crib. It just was not going to happen at the Chase Center. It just was not going to happen. Steph had a big game. Big games from Draymond Green. Big games from Andrew Wiggins. Still, Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson on milk carton somewhere, but they had enough to win the game last night. Now, of course, the big story coming out of this is Anthony Davis. He got wheeled out of the court. Now, we did not see the wheelchair, and the inside the NBA had a hell of a time laughing at this last night. And I just want to say this, by the way. Nobody oh, you should be laughing. Like, I don't think anybody's laughing at Anthony Davis being hurt, at least not reasonable people. Been on a fucking wheelchair. It's a little excessive. Like, we laughed at Paul Pierce when he got on the wheelchair and allegedly he just had to take a shit. It's funny things. Now, I think that people will be expecting high-level basketball analysis from inside the NBA. The reason that show has been on damn near all of my life is because they're entertaining. They don't go about the X's and O's. So to have Shaq and Chuck and Kenny go over there laughing like idiots, which all of us were laughing offside, even if you were crying bullshit on Twitter, you were probably laughing to yourself about it, like him being in a wheelchair. It's just funny shit, man. Like, just lighten the fuck up, man. Like, y'all, I can tell which one of y'all got pulled, thrown in the lockers in high school. Like, y'all must be very fun at parties. But Anthony Davis, he's all right. He's not in concussion protocol. Now, I saw that video of him leaving the Chase Center last night, and it looked like me leaving a bar at 1:30 in the fucking morning. He looked like he was walking when the police tell you, yo, walk on a straight line for me real quick. And I feel like doing a little Miami Dolphins injury report here. Now, whether that's the case or not, I don't know. That's my conspiracy theory, but he is listed as probable for Game 6 tomorrow. Darvin Ham says that he has not been in concussion protocol, so take that how you will. We'll really see how healthy he is when he performs. And Mo Bamba, which I forgot he was on the team, should be able to play. But this is a game right here that I feel my head is telling me Lakers will win this game. They've just been the better team in these first 5 games. Defensively, they've been all the place. Anthony Davis has been unstoppable for the most part. He still kind of did a little missing appearance in the second half last night before he got hurt, only having 5 points in the second half. LeBron's shown flashes, and I think that's what we all want at LeBron in his career right now. I don't think this is slander or anything like that. It's just LeBron's actually showing his age. Like, I don't think Dylan Brooks said you got to score 40. I don't think you're going to see a 40-point game. In fact, we haven't seen a 30-point game from LeBron yet. So I just don't know if he has that in him. He's been a clear number 2 player this entire run, which is exactly what he wanted, which is exactly what the Lakers wanted. That's the whole point of bringing Anthony Davis to the Lakers, was so Anthony Davis could become the number 1 guy on the team. LeBron could just fade into the background, try to collect a couple championships. Then he retires or leaves and maybe goes to Cleveland for a farewell tour, whatever the fuck he plans on doing. The next era of Laker basketball will be on Anthony Davis. So everything is going according to schedule from that point. So I do think that, being at the crowd at Staples Center, they have not lost at Staples Center since in the playing games. They should win. But Steph's my man. Steph is my man, and as he is the leader of the light-skinned delegation, I got to ride my boy to the end. So I'm gonna say this goes in Game 7. This is no basketball analysis. This is 100% riding with my favorite player. going with the Warriors. So there will be a game 7 in San Francisco on Sunday. I think we get 2 game 7s on Sunday. I think it will be Celtics, Sixers in TD Garden in Boston. And there will be a game 7 at the Chase Center between the Warriors and the Los Angeles Lakers. So those are my predictions this weekend. I might be wrong. Shit, I'm probably wrong. I've been wrong like a motherfucker this playoffs. Everybody's been wrong who does this prediction business in sports media because this has been the most March Madness ass NBA playoffs ever. Nobody knows what the fuck's going on. So I'm probably wrong. So y'all probably gonna tweet me on Sunday or whatever. Oh, you're wrong. That's fine. I appreciate you watching to care enough to try to tell me when I'm wrong. Let's be very clear. I'm not wrong much. But we're gonna close this up with Goofy Mog of the week, and this is actually the first ever in the history of this show. We've done over 50 episodes of this show, and I appreciate all y'all for watching all of this. Listen to my dumbass talk sports for 45 minutes to an hour every week. This is the first time we're doing a Goofy Mog roll call. I couldn't just pin down 1 or 2 Goofy Mogs this week. There's been a lot of stupid shit going on this week. So in honor of the legend Frank Costanza from Seinfeld, I'm about to air a little grievances way earlier than Festivus usually is. So I'm going to start off first with Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo, my first Goofy Mog of the week, for the doubling down. Now I am a team double down, by the way, but doubling down on the bullshit failure post by putting the Kobe video in there. There's 2 things here. Number 1, Kobe gonna hunt you niggas in y'all sleep. Y'all keep misquoting him. Number 1, that's number 1. Number 2, Kobe said there's no failure when it comes to life shit, which is true. There's another video that him and Nike conveniently left out where Kobe said when they lost to the NBA Finals to the Celtics in 2008, yes, this season is a failure. We planned to win the championship. We didn't accomplish that goal. It is a failure. There's a failure, man. I'm gonna get my little old head back real quick since all y'all calling me Unc on Twitter now. I'm just gonna double down and get my full Uncle Jerome bag. I'm gonna just say it's just some soft shit. There's failures in sports. That's the reason there's a fucking scoreboard. There's winners and there's losers. So Giannis, stop the bullshit. And then on top of that, he puts a little IG post of him, in the layup line before he about to get introduced. He said, I'm tired of people disrespecting me. Just go away, okay? You lost. Nobody's saying you're still the best player in the NBA. I don't think there's any doubt about that. You're still the best player in this league. You're gonna skip into the Hall of Fame when your time is ready. But you lost. You lost to a team you had no business losing to. You were the number 1 overall seed in the entire league. You lost. It's just what it is. So go be a family man. Go on your little trips, have a little ice cream, enjoy your time, and just shut the fuck up till at least week 3 of the NFL season when it's time for NBA training camp. Then you can come back. Nobody wants to hear that shit, bro. Let it go. And I love Giannis. He's one of my favorite players. But cut the shit. Number 2, Mr. LeBron Raymond James. And we just said this about all of the different things that the teams are going back and forth about. Oh, you don't flop, I'll flop. You know what I'm saying? Like he said up there, oh, we don't. First of all, no team teaches flopping, so nobody. I don't know where that came from. But number 2, he said my entire 20 years I've never been on a team that flopped. Excuse me? I almost walked off the set like Pavian Thomas. I almost pulled it off because, bro, we have eyes. There are YouTube compilations of the flagrant flopping that Mr. LeBron has done over at least the last decade, at least the Heatles days. So please, cut the shit, all right? Cut this whole entire series from the players to the coaching to the 2 annoying-ass fan bases. It's just been a lot. But LeBron, you ain't got to lie, my G. You ain't got to lie. We see. All right. And especially that shit you pulled in game 2. When he just, Jordan Poole looked at him and his ass felt like Larry David. Stop it. So that's number 2 on my Goofy Mog roll call. Number 3, the Kansas City Chiefs for ducking the Germany game. Now, am I saying that Patrick Mahomes was scared of the Chicago Bears? Hell no. He's going to kick our ass whether it was in Germany, Kansas City, or fucking Mars. And I understand from a business perspective, that they know Bears fans travel, and they wanted to keep that revenue for themselves. This is strictly a personal vendetta I have because I wanted to visit Germany for the first time and enjoy the sights, have German beer, be in that stadium, enjoy everything. Now I got to wait a year. The Bears on the 2024 national schedule. Now I got to wait a year, and I got to go to bum-ass Kansas City for another time, for the second time this year. So this is nothing logical. This is nothing to do. I get it from a numbers and a business perspective. This is just because I'm inconvenienced there. So fuck you, Kansas City Chiefs. And finally, to wrap this goofy mob roll call, airing of grievances, I'm going to give this to the people who were complaining when the all NBA selections came out this year. Now, this year we had, this past week, this year we had probably the most annoying MVP debate in NBA history. And for the last couple of years, people say, well, records shouldn't be part of it when you're being MVP and you're being voted MVP. But then you want record to be part of it when it comes to all NBA teams. Well, Shea shouldn't be on there. He was a 10th seed. Luka shouldn't be on there. He shouldn't have made the playoffs. You cannot name 5 players in the NBA better than Luka Doncic. Stop the bullshit, all right? Is it Uchi-Wale or is it one Mike? Like, which one are we on here? The All-NBA should be on who are the best 5 in each category. So altogether, it's 15 players. Who are the best 15 players in the NBA this season? That's how it's voted. I don't give a damn about records. This is individual shit, and y'all know that. So take this discourse and throw it in the garbage. That's all I've got for y'all today, man. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. We will be back next week. Next week will probably be at least 2 games to the conference finals from both the East and the West. We're almost at the finish line. We're going to have some more news for y'all very soon about season 2 of I'm Not Going to Hold You to Off Season, which is my more in-depth interview series. We did 6 episodes last summer. You can check those out right here on H&B Media. We interviewed Jeff Pearlman, interviewed my man Quentin Yates from ESPN, my man Andrew Barr from Picture Drivers. A lot of great interviews. We're going to have a lot more on deck this year, so stay tuned for news about that closer to the NBA Finals. But hope you enjoyed not just tonight with the 2 Game 6s and also with the NFL schedule dropping in about 8 minutes. I hope you guys enjoy this weekend, man. So you know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarbChairScott. You can follow H&B Media at H&B Media TV on Twitter and at H&B Media on Instagram. You can follow the Barbers Chair Network on Twitter and Instagram at Barbers Chair Net. Follow my super producer, Pat Vito. You can follow him at Pavi World on Twitter and Instagram. Visit patverbs.com. Stream both of his singles. Right now, being single is complicated and love it for yourself. We appreciate everybody who's been downloading them. Being single is complicated video coming very soon. The Bachelor album coming really soon. Subscribe to the Barbers Chair Patreon. Patreon.com/Barbers Chair Network. We've got 3 things up there right now. We got a new episode of Summer Sessions. We got 2 episodes of Cinema with the Guys. We got one with me and the homie Dante breaking down episode 7 of this latest last season of Succession. And we also got a new one that just dropped today. Me and the homie Trey, oral history of the Fast and the Furious franchise. We break down the prior 9 movies, and we tell y'all what we expecting for Fast 10 dropping next week and Fast 11 dropping in a couple years. So check that out. Visit thebcnet.com, and I'll let y'all next week. We out.
Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line.